Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, blessed Sunday to everybody. Say good morning. Tell me where you're watching from. Well, today's message, if you saw the Facebook event, we have today's message, which talks about what would you do if God gave you $5 million. That's our topic for today. What would you do if God gave you $5 million? So a couple of you answered that earlier when we had the event posted up, and thank you for answering. Many of you said that you would give back 10% back to God, tithes, which is very good, especially since God gave you the 5 million, right? So it's like His money, so you just give Him the 10% of what He gave you. But it's like that with all the money we earn, right? All right, great. Let's go ahead and dive into today's message. So, what would you do if God gave you $5 million? It's a very interesting question, right? Let me kind of change that question a little bit. Well, what if He lent you $5 million? No interest. He just lent you $5 million. You're thinking, you'd be very excited, right? It's $5 million. You wake up one day, and then you wake up, and then you stretch, and then you walk to your table. You're gonna cook breakfast, and then you look at your table, and then you see a briefcase like they have in the movies. You see a briefcase, and then there's a note. You open it up, you read the note. It says, dear, let's say Cherry. I see Cherry's name here. Dear Cherry, here is $5 million for you to use however you want it. And then from God, that would be like, and you open it up, you see those dollars, like $100 bills, like we see in those movies with those briefcases. You'd be really happy, right? You'd be really excited. And then what would you do after you get past the excitement, after you get past the shock and amazement? What would you do? Well, if you think about it, it's scary, right? What if you lose the money? It's just there. It's 5 million in cash. What if you lose the money? What if there's a robber goes into your house or something? With the money, what would you do? Would you spend it? Would you live a happy life with a $5 million? You can do a lot with $5 million. Would you invest it? Would you invest the money in the stock market or in the business and paying God back? Would you just, or maybe you would just want to keep the money, keep the money, hide it like under your bed, or deposit it in a bank, or keep it somewhere safe. And then so that, when God needs the money back, you can pay Him back. Let's see, what would you do here? And let me know in the comments, what would you do with the $5 million that God gives you? While you're answering, while I'm waiting for your answers, I'm going to go ahead and read this passage, Matthew chapter 25, verses from verse 14. Okay. And I'm going to read from the Message version. Okay, it's like a man going off on an extended trip. He called his servants together and delegated responsibilities. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and a third 1 talent, depending on their abilities. And then he left. He went on his trip. So right away, the first servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second, he also did the same. He also went to work and doubled his master's investment. But the man with 1 talent dug a hole carefully and buried his master's money. All right. And just to clarify, 1 talent, I googled it. One silver talent, so that's like a bunch of silvers, is worth around $1.25 billion. So that's like 7.5 million. 5 talents is $7.5 million. And as it says here, those that received 5 talents, or let's translate that into millions, those that received 5 million and 2 million, they invested the money and they got returns. They doubled the money. The guy who got 1 million, he hid the money because he hid the money As it says here, he carefully hid the money. Carefully buried the master's money. And I'm gonna continue reading here. After a long absence, the master of those 3 servants came back and settled with him. The one given 5 talents showed him how he had doubled his investment. The master commended him. Good work, you did your job well. From now on, be my partner. Great, right? Next. And God was really happy, right? God was really happy that the servant was able to invest and double the money and utilize the investment. Next, the servant with 2 talents showed how he had doubled his master's investment. His master commended him. Good work, you did your job well. From now on, be my partner. So great. And then the last one, the servant given 1 talent said, Master, I know you have high standards and you hate careless ways, that you demand the best and make no allowances or make no room for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secure your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent. So the third servant was scared that he would lose the money, and a lot of us are scared that we lose money, right? Since it wasn't his money, he was scared he would lose the money, so he just hid it somewhere. The master was furious. That's a terrible way to live. It's criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than the least? The least you could have done is invest the sum with the bankers. There I at least would have gotten a little interest. Take the talent and give it to the one who risked the most. And get rid of this play safe, who won't go out on a limb. So the master told his guards, to take the 1 talent, give it to the guy who was given 10 talents or 10 million, and get rid of the guy who played it safe, and throw him out into the darkness. That's pretty harsh, right? Throw him out into the darkness. Now, in your life right now, you might be wondering, maybe God didn't give you, 5 million or even 1 million, and you might be wondering why you have so little right now. Why you have so little right now? You might be wondering why God won't give you more. Why doesn't He just give you 1 million or give you 5 million? Well, I'll tell you a simple rule. Simple rule is when you are faithful with little, God will give you more. When you're responsible with little things, God will put you in charge of more things. And we're not just talking about money here, okay? We're not just, this story was about money, but we're not just talking about money. We're talking about talents as well. Talents, like not the million, but actual like skills and talents, and knowledge and relationships, and how it affects us as freelancers, as potential freelancers. I want to point out that with our skills, with our talents, being faithful, as we saw in this story, being faithful is using your skills well, using your talents well, enhancing them and investing them. You don't just want, when you have a skill, you don't just want to bury it in the ground. You don't just want to hide it. What you want to do is invest it, take the risk, as it says here. The one that received 5 talents and 2 talents, they took risks and they got returns. So with your skills, with your talents, use your talents well, invest in them. Whether it's time, it could be time, it could be money, it could be skills, talents, whatever God has given you in this life, invest it, put it somewhere and grow it, Don't just hide it. Don't just put it away somewhere, but grow your skills, grow your talents, grow your money, grow your time, grow your relationships, and invest in these. Because if you don't, as it says in verse 29, God or the master here threw out the person who was scared, the person who didn't invest. He threw him out into the darkness. It says, get rid of this, play it safe. The guy who played it safe and who won't go out on a limb, who won't take risks. throw him out into the darkness. And you don't want to be thrown out into the darkness, right? The main story here is that God rewards those who help themselves grow, who invest in themselves. So if once again, if you whatever you have right now on this earth, whether it's time, whether it's talents, whether it's money, whether it's your relationships, utilize them well and grow them. Don't just hide them. Don't be stagnant in your life. Don't just stay put. Don't just don't just be like, I'm okay. I don't want to improve. I don't want to increase my talents. I'm okay as I am. Don't be like that. Invest in yourself and continue to grow no matter where you are. Continue to grow in your money, continue to grow in your talents, continue to grow in your skills. And then once you grow them, that's when God will give you more. So instead of complaining about how you don't have enough, how maybe you're going to ask God, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough talents, I don't have skills. Be faithful with what little you have. Be faithful with what you have right now. Invest them, and that's when God will give you more. Now, with this message, I hope you don't just listen to this message and don't do anything about it. What I want you to do is I want you to invest in yourself, help yourself grow your skills, your talents, your money, your time, your relationships, your abilities, whatever you have right now. So for those of you watching, I want you to make just a small commitment. I want you to make a small commitment of improving yourself in at least one way. So tell me in the comments below, what are you going to do this week? What are you going to do this week to help yourself grow, to improve yourself, to invest in yourself? It could be your skills, your abilities, your talents. It could be your money. It could be your relationships. With anything you have right now, let me know in the comments below. How are you going to improve yourself? How are you going to make yourself grow? How are you going to invest in yourself and in what you have, so that when the time comes, when the Master comes back, when God comes to us on Judgment Day, we can proudly say that we have faithfully utilized what He has given us, what He has put us in charge of. Okay, let me know in the comments below. How are you going to utilize? How are you going to invest? How are you going to grow? How are you going to develop yourself, your skills, your talents, your abilities, your money, or anything you have? Okay, let me know in the comments. And don't just let me know in the comments. Also do it. What are you going to do this week? Let me know and actually do it. Okay, that's all for today. Have a great week and be blessed, Flip.